My name's Amy Orr-Ewing. I'm the UK Director at the Zacharias Trust, and this is a series of devotions in the build-up to Easter. Love's Unveiling, sealed with a kiss. Matthew writes, Jesus replied, "Do what you came for, friend." Have you ever been caught in the pathway of a crowd of angry protesters? It's pretty intimidating, even as a bystander. But here, Jesus is the focus of attention for an armed mob. Focus your attention on him. Let his words and actions sink in. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd armed with swords and clubs, sent from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. "The one I kiss is the man, arrest him." Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus replied, "Do what you came for, friend." Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached for his sword, drew it out and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to him, "for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen in this way?" In that hour, Jesus said to the crowd, "Am I leading a rebellion that you have come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I sat in the temple courts teaching, and you did not arrest me, but this has all taken place that the writings of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. As the Son of God is betrayed by a friend whom he discipled for 3 years, with a kiss in front of a crowd of people armed to the hilt, Matthew's narrative is filled with tension. The kiss as the means of betrayal is all the more poignant when Jesus calls Judas friend. Jesus' teaching to love our enemies and lay down our lives for our friends is actually lived out in this passage. His love here is a huge challenge to our own self-centeredness today. When one of the disciples cuts off the ear of the high priest's servant, Jesus rebukes him and reminds him that although deliverance is at his disposal, he has come to suffer and die. How desperately we need to remember this when suffering comes for us. Yes, sometimes we're delivered from it, but sometimes we have to follow in the footsteps of the suffering Christ. So in response, take some time to thank Jesus for willingly going to his death with his heart full of love and forgiveness, even in the face of betrayal and violence. Ask for his help in any struggles or difficulties you're facing at the moment.